King जो है, he has taken different concepts from Davis. He takes the concept of, he borrows. Davis से उन्होंने क्या क्या borrow किया? He borrowed the concept of stage based changes. That's why okay, L.C. King के model को cycle theory भी बोलते हैं, like Davis model. Talked about that the changes are stage based. He believed in the idea of a cycle of erosion, and a cycle that is again predictable, a cycle that is sequential. ये सारे terms आते हैं. From Davis, he borrowed the idea of cycle of erosion. From Davis, he also borrows the concept of normal cycle. But important ये है कि L.C. King के लिए normal है savanna climate. Okay, so L.C. King from Davis, what did he borrowed? He borrowed the concept of normal cycle, but we say, but for L.C. King, normal conditions are the savanna, semi-arid conditions. For L.C. King, जो normal conditions हैं, वो क्या conditions हैं? वो savanna के semi-arid conditions हैं. What is normal cycle? Okay, so for Davis, what was normal? The cool temperate conditions, cool humid conditions of temperate latitudes. But for L.C. King, he said savanna is the normal condition. Okay, and like Davis, did Davis consider the importance of climate in the world? Did Davis consider? No. The moment he says normal conditions का मतलब क्या है? All other climates are accidental. They are climatic accidents. So यही idea इनका भी था. So L.C. King also believed climate is not an important factor. And this is what becomes his concept of climatic uniformitarianism. ये ideas इन्होंने Davis से लिया था. This has been asked as a question. Discuss L.C. King and how Davis, Penck and A would have influenced his theory. ठीक है? So Davis का cycle concept, Davis का stage based concept, Davis normal cycle concept, and Davis में climate is not an important factor. Normal cycle idea लिया था from Davis, but for L.C. King, the normal conditions are the conditions of semi-arid savanna landscape. I hope you all know what savanna means. Okay, savanna का मतलब क्या है? Africa का region है, which has okay drought conditions, rainfall भी होता है. They are grassland areas. They have large mammals. Okay, so yes, savanna is the African tropical grasslands. African tropical grasslands. Cycle of erosion, okay, which is predictable and which is sequential. The cycle of erosion. So L.C. King भी बोलते हैं there is a youth stage, a mature stage, and a senile stage. The stages are predictable. The stages are sequential. Now from Penck, what did he take? From Penck's a slope a replacement model was modified. Penck क्या किया उन्होंने? The slope replacement model है, that was modified, and for King it became the model of parallel retreat or the model of slope retreat. From Penck's model, he modified the slope replacement concept. Penck had given the concept of slope replacement. इन्होंने modify कर दिया. Modify करके क्या कहा? That my model is the model called as parallel retreat, also called as the model of slope retreat. In fact, they are so similar Many people thought that Penck का model भी slope retreat model ही है. You had a point here that that there is so much commonality. There is so much commonality between the two models that Penck's model for a long time was considered to be synonymous with parallel retreat model. Synonymous with parallel retreat model. ठीक है? Next लिखो Penck's में. He acknowledged the role of L.C. King acknowledged the role of endogenic forces also in the development of slope types. And the fourth point is, like Penck, L.C. King also believes slope changes happen from below towards the top. So you have got 2 to 3 paragraphs of how L.C. King is influenced by Davis and how L.C. King is influenced by Penck. Now, the contribution of A. Wood. A. Wood's contribution. Now, A. Wood, in his model of slope development, had talked about the role of a scarp face. What's a scarp face? It's a vertical slope. It's a perfectly vertical cliff को बोलते हैं scarp. Neither Penck nor Davis talked about scarp face, a very important component. But A. Wood कहते हैं कि some processes operate only when there is a perfectly vertical scarp face. ये चीज L.C. King ने भी कहा था. That point here, according to L.C. King, a very important condition for parallel retreat of slopes is the instant removal of sediments from the base of the slope. ठीक है? Imagine, ये एक slope है, there's a slope here. So there is weathering going on, weathering going on, weathering going on. The sediments accumulate at the base and something must remove it. Weathering going on, rocks are breaking, sediments are forming, and something will happen. The sediments accumulate here and they're instantly removed. So in L.C. King's model, the sediments do not accumulate. उस साथ साथ निकालना होगा. Okay. और ये जब भी possible है if the river performs very, very efficient basal sapping. Plus, there is a vertical scarp face also. लिखे आप क्या लिखा लास्ट में क्या लिखा आपने? Instant removal of sediments from the base of the slope. This is possible only if basal sapping by the rivers at the base of the slope is very efficient. And it is in this that the scarp face has a role to perform. I put a star mark here. L.C. King's model of slope evolution will not operate if there is no scarp face. Let me explain this to you. अगर ये एक slope है, अगर ये slope है, and say there is weathering, there is weathering, there is weathering. Okay, the weathering is sediments है, sediments है. इसके नीचे is the hard rock. अगर sediments remove नहीं होगा, will you have the weathering of the next layer of rock? No. So, all of you, if the sediments are not removed, then the next sequence of erosion will not happen. And imagine a case where this sediments remove better and this sediment does not remove better. Usme kya hoga? This one will get preserved and this will get eroded. So if this is the original slope and sediments are forming here, and this gets removed more efficiently, and this one does not get removed, so ultimately kya hoga? this one will get eroded more and this will get eroded less. The new slope, can I say, will something look like this now? Because this has moved back more and this has moved back less, because ye wale part mein the slope has got preserved. Okay, so if I start with an initial slope here, this is getting more eroded and this less eroded. Will the new slope look like this? This gets more eroded. This gets less eroded. Will my new slope look like this? Yes? Acha. LC King says कि ऐसे नहीं होता है. What happens is, if this is an original slope and there is weathering, rocks are breaking, he says the entire layer gets removed instantly. Because of which, जो नया slope होगा, can you imagine वो एक parallel slope होगा? दोबारा there is weathering, okay, again sediments are formed and the sediments are removed instantly. The next slope will again be perfectly parallel here. So ये जो idea है that the sediments are removed, but maybe the lower segments are not removed as efficiently, this is what becomes Penck's model. Okay, so a gentle slope is replacing a steep slope. This steep slope is replaced by this gentle slope. In case of LC King, the initial slope is replaced by perfectly parallel next slope. So if this is the initial landform, for Penck's model, ये ऐसे बनेगा, फिर ये ऐसे बनता है. ये ऐसे बनेगा, फिर ये ऐसे बनेगा. But for LC King, okay, the slopes are moving parallel. The slopes are getting eroded parallel. Can you imagine here? That's why LC King's model is called as parallel retreat. और जब ही होता है if the sediments are removed instantly. Sediments remove कैसे होगा instantly? When, okay, अगर यहाँ पर vertical scarp face है, can this accumulate sediments? Can a vertical cliff have sediments? No. So whatever weathering happens, वो क्या होगा? It'll push down, and this pushing down will push this one, and this will get pushed down, the river will remove it. So ये जो vertical scarp face है, this operates like a very powerful push for the sediments. I hope you got the point here. Compare. ये दो slope है. एक ये slope है और एक ये slope है. In which case, the sediments are pushed down more efficiently. यहाँ पर ना, इसमें क्या है? This probably pushes this not as much, and यहाँ पर हो जाएगा accumulation. In this case, because vertical है, यहाँ कुछ जमने ही नहीं देगा, and this pushing down will push this and this one. और यहाँ पर you have got a very good river that performs basal sapping. So for LC King, this is an important criteria, that in the slope evolution, there must be a vertical scarp face. In the absence of the scarp face, this process will not operate. Then he says, then आप जो बोलना है बोलो, Davis बोलना है बोलो, Penck बोलना है बोलो, मेरा theory नहीं है. Now this was a condition that Penck did not add, but Penck talked about from bottom towards below, from bottom towards top. Penck talked about river performs basal sapping. Penck talked about the rivers remove sediments from the base. So it looks very similar, but actually it is not the same. So आपके notes में we just need to have this one important point, that basal sapping very efficient is one of the criteria for LC King, and for basal sapping to be efficient, you need to have a perfectly vertical scarp face, an idea he took from A. Wood's theory. Okay, all of you done here?